What's up, everybody? Christian here from KQ Fitness, here for our workout of the week. We're going to go through a TRX circuit workout, targeting total body today, filtering back and forth between TRX equipment and then just body weight exercise. We're going to transition back and forth. We have 2 circuits today consisting of 4 exercises each. We're going to spend 30 seconds per exercise, 15-second breaks in between to account for transition time, and a full minute recovery at the end of each set. All right, so we're going to spend first half of today focusing on 4 main exercises: TRX bicep curl, chair dips, TRX IYTs, and the pop squat. So if you have a chair handy, go ahead and grab that. You could use a chair, you could use a stool, any additional platform that's somewhat off the ground to be able to do our chair dips today. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the setting up the TRX. First half today, we're going to start at mid-length here. So I'm going to adjust that strap, pull those pull tabs up to that 2-line marker on the TRX, bring it up to mid-length. Mine's pretty close already. I'm just going to go ahead and line that up. All right, so once you got your anchor point and your straps adjusted to mid-length, we're going to keep it there through the first half of class, so don't have to worry about that. You can set it and forget it. Starting with the first exercise today, we're going to start with that TRX bicep curl. That's an exercise we're going to be standing facing, so standing facing the anchor here. So that's going to require me. Find a foot position. Again, it's going to challenge you. The closer your feet are to the anchor, the more challenging it is going to be. Maintaining a nice neutral plank from the shoulders down to the hips. We're going to start in a contracted elbow position, just like this. So contracted elbows to start. Release out to a full extension. Pull yourself back up. So my hands are going to start and finish at my temples in the curl. At a full extension, I'm going to try to keep that elbow height the same as when I started, and doing our best to keep that wrist from flexing. I want that to stay neutral. While doing that, you're keeping that right, hips and shoulders are moving together, so that plank is staying nice and strong as you're moving back and forth through your bicep curl. But you also want to focus on keeping that back engaged. So keeping those shoulder blades kind of squeezed like this. So you kind of see my shoulder blades kind of squeezing back a little bit. You don't have to completely squeeze them together just like this. What we're ideally focused on here is just keeping some activation of the shoulder blades there. So chest is up to start. As you come out to a full extension, you don't want to come out too far where your arms or your shoulders are out in front of your body here. My hips are starting to fall down. So you want to keep a nice neutral plank here, but you don't want to overextend yourself too at the back. So I still want to keep my back engaged here. So squeezing those shoulder blades somewhat as I pull myself back up through the hands, meeting those hands out at the temples. That's the bicep curl. Again, the closer your feet are to the anchor, the more challenging it's going to be. Chair dips after that. So chair dips, you can use the side of the platform. You can go edge of the platform here. Obviously the heat is shining down on us right now, so it's a little hot on this edge, but I can use this edge too. So you're basically coming out to just kind of like a plank position, but you are kind of hinging somewhat at the hips here. So notice I'm in a slight bend. But from the hips up, my back is generally neutral, and from the waist down, my legs are generally neutral as well. You can cross the feet, keep them separated, but essentially you're going to come down, bend in the elbows, you're going to make your way down towards the ground, just where that butt stops short of the ground, press yourself back up. Okay? Everybody's height will be different depending on what you use, what type of chair you use. We don't all have the same chair or platform. So you're just going to focus on getting towards a 90-degree angle at the elbows there, pressing back up. Okay? Doing your best to keep a generally neutral position here from the hips up and the waist down while you're hinging at the hips there. So as I come down, doing my best to stay neutral there. I might feel a little stretch in my hamstrings. Press myself back up. Next one, TRX IYT. So going back to the TRX here. We're going to start in a standing position. We're going to form the letter I here. So this is the finished position and the start of the I. This is the Y. This is the T. So you kind of see the direction of how it creates that letter. So you have the vertical position, the I, the diagonal position, the Y, and then the horizontal position, the T. We go through one sequence of that. We're going to do one at a time. So what it should look like. Full extension. Pull yourself up to an I, to a Y, to a T. A couple important things there. It can create a lot of neck strain in the pull, any type of pull position on the TRX. So I want you to maintain a neutral back and neck, tuck the chin down and keep it right there for the duration of your exercise. Another thing to focus on is while you're keeping that plank nice and neutral, from the hips up to the shoulders, you should be pulling through the hands there. So the closer your feet are to the anchor again, more challenging it's going to be. So if my feet are going to be right here, it's going to be creating quite a challenging angle here. What I'm essentially doing is I'm essentially doing a front shoulder raise. Imagine you had dumbbells and you're pulling yourself up. You never bend your elbow during a shoulder raise or dumbbell raise. Usually, you generally keep them in a straight extended position. So taking that principle and applying it to the I, Y, and T, you're going to want to do the same thing for each letter. So extension of the elbow. Elbows are still extended. Pull yourself up that way. As you pull yourself up, keep the core tight. And do your best to keep the wrist neutral as well. Last one here, we're going to a body exercise. So pop squat. You're going to start in a hip width apart in a squat position, coming down to a squat. As you come back up, we're going to bring our feet in very quickly. It's like a hop off the ground. Toes, feet leave the ground. You go back to your squat position. Right? You can go a little wider here too. Squat, touch, back down to a squat. Touch, back down to a squat. Principles being the same as most squats. Chest up, back neutral, glutes finish behind the feet. Right? I don't want my glutes to be out in front of my feet or on top of my feet. I'll be falling forward. Right? So that allows you to keep the weight back, shift it back. Second half today, we're going to atomic push-ups using the TRX here. So second half of the day, we're actually going to adjust this to mid-calf. So you want to measure the strap, measure it up to your mid-calf here, the handle. So I'm going to pull this down a bit. About right there. Lining up with the gastrocnemius right there out to the side. All right. So once you get that mid-calf adjustment, set it and forget it. We're going to do a TRX atomic push-up first. Now, essentially, it's just a fancy word of saying it's a push-up and a crunch combined together on the TRX. So I'm going to loop my feet through here. So you can easily kind of loop the toes through here in a bent knee position on the ground if you got a nice mat or soft surface below you. Sometimes you don't. The actual textbook way to do it, typically what you want to do is slip your toes in, cockroach position like this, I like to call it, feet towards the sky. You slip your toes in here at the top, let them drag at the midfoot here, and then you're going to rotate to your position, your starting position. Feet start below the anchor here. I want even tension in the straps there. Press myself up to a plank position. I'm going to go down to a push-up, and then a crunch. Push-up, and a crunch. So the crunch, keeping that tension like you would with the push-up, as you're pulling yourself forward, the crunch, your knees are going to finish below the hips. So kind of get an idea that you'd create this vertical line between knees and hips that aligns those all together. So that's as far as you're going to go forward in terms of bringing those knees up towards the direction of your chest, and then sending them back in a nice, deliberate fashion. So you want it to be about the same pace as the pulling of the knees in as you push them back out. You don't want to go too fast. You don't really give that. The more time you kind of spend through the crunch, the more activation you give to your core. If I'm going through it quick, it's a very quick motion, kind of losing that engagement in the core there. Not entirely, but you get a little bit more challenge there if you slow down that motion just a little bit to be more accommodating for that. Just like that. Okay? That's the first one of the second round. After that, we're going to go on to a TRX bridge. So we're using TRX for the entire second half of today. TRX bridge. I'm going to slip my heels in. So cockroach position again. Heels towards the sky. I'm going to slip my heels into these foot cradles, keeping the mid-length adjustment. Slide myself forward a little bit. So I kind of want my knees to start over my hips here. Hands out to the side, kind of like you would do a glute bridge. You have your hands out to the side, you're pressing into the floor. Well, we're going to keep our knees above the hips here to start. That's why I'm really close to the anchor point. My feet are close to below the anchor point. I'm going to press myself up off the ground, trying to keep those knees right above the hips. Press yourself up until your hips, knees, shoulders are all in one straight line, pointing up towards the anchor point, and back down. That is our TRX bridge. So that's exercise number 2. We're going to stay in this position and do a hamstring curl. So that one's a little bit different. Same starting position here, but now we're going to keep our feet extended. So I'm going to back up a little bit, give myself space. My feet are starting directly underneath the anchor to start. I'm going to press my hips up off the ground to start. I'm going to pull my legs in till the knees finish above the hips, and then push back forward. Pull them in, knees over the hips, push back forward. Okay? While you're doing this, very important that you keep those hips off the ground. Naturally, they're going to want to involuntarily just make their way down towards the ground, set back down. So you got to be cognizant of keeping those hips just off the ground and lifted to complete the exercise. After that, we're going to finish off the round with a mountain climber. So slipping the toes in. Do either method. You could go cockroach position or quick and easy way like this. Slip those toes in, coming back to a plank. Keep an even tension through both straps here so the handles are about even. In my plank position, I'm pulling forward, pressing back at the same time. So notice how if I don't really focus, this is sliding all over the place. So it's really important that you keep that tension to start and trying to limit that motion as much as possible. So even as you pull one leg forward and push one back, requires a lot of pushing and pressing, kind of like levers kind of pulling, and like a lot of give and take there. Just trying to keep that equilibrium point of your strap to stay positioned equally on both sides. So just be cognizant of that and try to control the shifting from side to side. Okay? So that's going to be our round. We're going to go ahead and start it up. I got my timer right there. This is going to be about 27 minutes. Okay? We're going to start with a little 2-minute warm up here, take you through some TRX mobility stuff, and then we're going to go straight into it with that first half. All right? All right, here we go. Have some water, have a towel nearby. All right, here we go. Here's the warm up. Go ahead and adjust this to mid-length. Bring it back to the start because that's where we're going to start off today, okay? Mid-length adjustment in the strap. Push this off to the side a little bit. We're going to start with walking the feet away, lateral lunge. Keeping the chest close to the straps here. Okay, feet together, about hip width. Tuck the hips back, tuck the head down, and we're twisting. Bend one knee at a time. Bend a knee, twist away from it. Stack the elbows. Pull it back up. We're going to hinge forward. We're going to roll over from our hips. Keep the hips same position and roll over. TRX. So rolling forward, keeping tension in the straps, pressing back up. Rolling forward, keeping that back neutral, pressing back up. We're going to finish off with some wall sliders here. Hands above the head here. Pull those elbows down at your side. Press back up. Press back up. Press back up. Filter in some breathing pattern in here. So inhale down. Exhale. Press up. Keeping tension in the straps with your hands, pressing forward. Get a lot of chest activation here. All right. Shake it out here. We're going to start in 10 seconds, folks. We're going to start with the TRX bicep curl first. Wasting no time, going straight into it. Remember, 30 seconds on each exercise, 15-second break in between. Here we go. Bicep curl. Start at the temples, come out. Closer your feet are to the anchor, more challenging it's going to be. Try to keep that elbow height the same in your extension as it is in the flexion. Do your best to keep those wrists neutral as you flex in that curl. Start to feel tension in that neck. Want you to reset, stand it up, tuck the chin down, and resume. There's the timer there, folks. 15 seconds. Go ahead and set that off to the side for now. Let go of that TRX. And do chair dips next when our 15 seconds is over. Here we go. Drop the hips down towards the ground. 90 degrees of the elbows. Press back up. So generally neutral from the hips up and from the waist down. All the movement of the joints, all the joint movement is in the elbows and in your hips. Go whatever pace you want for this 30 seconds. It's your pace. You can go faster than me, go at my pace, go a little bit less, whatever you can do. 15-second break here. Good job. And go back to those IYTs, back to the TRX. Here we go. Standing position to start. You'll start with the I. Elbows stay straight like a front shoulder raise. Y. T. I. Y. T. Principle holds true like the bicep curl in terms of hips to shoulders, keeping that plank nice and neutral here. Joints move together. Tucking the chin down to reduce neck strain. Keeping those wrists neutral. There's our break. Go ahead and set that down. We got pop squat next. Get that heart rate up a little bit, okay? Starting with a little bit wider than hip width apart. I'm going to do that so when I bring my feet together, it's a little closer. Here we go. Squat. Feet in, squat. Feet in, squat. So it's a quick motion, right? Feet come off the ground, toes touch in the middle, back out to that squat position. Here's the side view. Okay, stick with it. Go with your pace here. You will notice your heart rate become a little bit more elevated on this one. Anytime you start jumping into the mix, always tends to do it. Great job, folks. That's the break here. This is a quick 15-second break here, then the real break happens. We got a minute in between each set. Whew. Let's feel that heart rate become a little bit more elevated towards the end of the round there. But we got a little recovery here built in. All right, so we got 1 minute. Grab some water if you need it. I need it from talking so much. All right, folks, we got 2 more sets to go. Remember the principles of the movements. Now that we've kind of practiced through working through muscle memory here, developing that muscle memory, let's continue to reinforce good behavior, good habits here, okay? So we got the bicep curl first. Remember what we talked about with your moving plank on the TRX, hips and shoulders moving together in those pull motions, keeping the wrist neutral. Those 2 principles apply for the IYTs as well. The chair dips, making sure the joint movements are limited to elbow and hips. And then the pop squat, just making sure you start with a wide width, toes are off the ground slightly quickly, back to a squat. All right, here we go, bicep curl. Start at your temples, extension. Squeeze that core to keep it tight. You want the entire, from the waist up to the head. I want that to travel together. Elbow height stays the same from when you started. Break time. Whew. Trying to feel that one. We got chair dips next. Here we go. Drop that butt towards the ground. Elbows bend, press back up. Down to 90, press back up. Great job. Hang in there. Hope you're challenging yourself here today. Make that 30 seconds your own pace, your own intensity. Whew, almost there. Break time. Great job. We're going back to the TRX. IYTs. Let's switch over the order here. Let's go TYI. Make it a little different. I'm going to start out here. So same principle. Just go in reverse order of the letters. Everything else stays the same. Do my best to keep the wrists neutral. Making sure those hips and shoulders travel together. And if you started with an intensity or a foot position that's a little too intense, that's okay. You can walk your feet away. Just continue to move. Don't stop as much as you can avoid it. Just walk your feet back to lessen the intensity. Round over. All right, oh, we got pop squats next. And the round's over. So then we're starting shoulder width apart. Squat, touch in the middle, back down. It's almost like a jumping jack. Toes are the only part that's on the ground. Once they land in the middle, and return to that squat. Side profile. Keep those glutes down towards the ground, behind the lineup of the heels. There we go. Great job, folks. Whew. We're 2 rounds down. We got 1 more to go, and then we'll be halfway through. Great hustle. Okay, so we got 1 minute here. Grab some water if you need to. Grab a towel if you need to. Nice warm day out here in the sunshine. If you're like me and you're outside watching this video, be sure to stay protected there. Wear a hat, reflective gear, moisture wicking, some breathable fabrics, some sunblock. Do what you gotta do. Stay protected out here. All right. In 20 seconds, we're gonna start back up. We're gonna switch up the bicep curl exercise, and I'm gonna include bringing the elbows down, or rotating the elbows, bringing the hands down, and curling this way towards the chest. We're gonna alternate each one. Curl, curl. It's gonna feel a little weird, it's a little different. You got it. So start at the temples anyways. We're gonna do regular curl, but now we're gonna rotate. We're gonna rotate, elbows coming out wide, curl towards the chest, and then back up. So the only thing that's really moving is the rotation of the elbow, the angle of the hand position. Everything else holds true. Wrist stay neutral as you curl towards the chest. I know that felt a little weird, but try it out. Try it out the next time you do a TRX bicep curl. Try to do a whole round with it. See how you like it. Chair dips next. One last time. And here we go. Drop those butts down towards the ground. Back up. Hang in there. Doing great. You got 5 seconds left. Break time. Good job. All right, we're going to go back to the IYTs. So no gimmicks here. We're just going to do it like we did the first round, starting from the top, starting with the I. Find that foot position for you. I, Y, T. Now remember what I said, don't stop here with the TRX. Just change up the intensity if it becomes too much. So on this one particularly, walk the feet away from the anchor, or walk it more forward. Walk your feet towards the anchor for more intensity. I think I found a good one for me. Whew. Oh, good job, folks. Okay, we got pop squat, our final one here. After this break, or this pop squat and the break, we're going to start off our second half of today. It's a little bit more challenging. All right, here we go. Squat, pulse, squat, pulse. Toes lightly touching the middle. Back to your squat. Nice way of shooting that heart rate up a little bit to end the round. Great job, folks. Take a break here. All right. So in case you forgot, what our second half exercises are. I'm going to give you a quick reminder. We have atomic push-up, which is essentially a push-up combined with a crunch, alternating each type of movement. We have the bridge, hamstring curl, and mountain climber. Okay, all these exercises involve what we call ground exercise, ground-based exercise. Okay, so we're either on our back or on our front. Either your toes are in or your heels are in these moves. First one, toes are going to be in. Remember, I said you could go cockroach style in, heels point towards the sky, slip the toes in, rotate under, and return to a plank. You can come down facing away, slip the toes in this way. If you're doing the heel exercise, which is the bridge hamstring curl, heel moves, you just put the heel in as you're laying flat on your back here. And then a mountain climber, going to slip those toes back in. And we're going to go to a plank position to start. Okay? So adjust that strap to mid-calf. Mid-calf of the handle. All right, here we go, folks. Go ahead and slip it in. Toes into the straps. Those foot cradles, I like to call them. Push up. Crunch. Push up. Crunch. Bring the heels up. Bring the knees up towards your chest, the direction of your chest, finishing just below the hips. So knees and hips line up towards the sky on that crunch. Good job, break time. All right. Let's transition to heels in, 2 exercises. Doing the bridge. Bring the butt close to the anchor here. Hands to the side. Press the hips off the ground. Back down. Press it up to a plank. Your knees should stay above your hips at all times. If you feel a little tension through the hamstrings there, you're doing it right. That's what you should be feeling. Whew. Try to keep tension even in the straps. That pressure in the foot cradle. Just look at your anchor point, see if it's even at the top. All right. Whew. Take a break, but stay there. Back yourself up so your feet can be at a full extension of the knee. Feet right below the anchor. Hamstring curl, here we go. Press the hips off the ground. Knees in over the hips. Kind of like the last exercise. Knees in over the hips. But then you press out back to an extension, which you don't do in the bridge, but you do that here in the curl. Keep those hips off the ground. Remember what I mentioned about that? Keep those toes flexed through towards your roof or towards the sky. Hang in there. Don't forget to breathe. Great job. What a tough ground facing sequence here. All right, transitioning quickly. Put your toes in there. We're going to mountain climber. Get to that plank position. Here we go. Feet below the anchor. Keep the tension even here. Bringing one knee in towards underneath the hip. Sending the other foot out. Behind you. Look at your equilibrium point. Obviously, you can't look behind you, but look at your feet. Make sure the tension is even. Hang in there. Just like a traditional mountain climber, you maintain that plank position. 3, 2, 1. Whew. That was a good sequence. Almost feels like there's no break in there. Huh. Just enough for a transition. But you got one now, so grab some water. 1 round down. 2 to go. I'm curious to know what your favorite is in that one. I love the atomic push-up. Just the combination of both. But I like the feeling of the mountain climber too. It feels very fluid. So yeah, those are my favorite. Nothing wrong with the hamstring curl and the bridge. No disrespect to those. It's not my favorites. But if it is yours, kudos to you. Some nice strong legs. You keep that part of your consistent routine here with the TRX. All right, folks, 15 seconds left here. All right, we're gonna go back to the atomic push-up. Toes in. I'm going to show you the other move to slip into them, in case you forgot. 3, 2, 1. Get to that plank position, push up, bring the knees in over the hips, that's your crunch. Even this out a little bit. There we go. Whew. Ease that up quick. Hang in there, folks. We got 5 seconds left. Great job. Great job. Quick break here. We're going to slip our heels in for the next 2 moves. I don't know if anybody agrees with me, but it does feel like got no breaks between these moves. All on the ground here. All right, heels in. Keep the knees close and the hips close. Press off the ground. I'm going to go closer. So when you're setting it up, just want to make sure that those knees are somewhat above the hips, lined up vertically. That way you can press a little higher with your bridge. Press to the floor with your hands. Whew. All right. Lengthen it out here. I want a full extended knee. I want my feet to stay under the anchor for the hamstring curl. When the timer starts, we press our hips off the ground, slightly off the ground to start. Here we go. Bring the knees in over the hips, push them back out. Keeping those hips off the ground, keep moving. Great job. We're going to finish off the round with those mountain climbers. Slip the toes in there. Hang in there, folks. Not out of the woods yet. All right, plank position. Starting with the heels underneath the anchor. You're alternating, pulling one in, pushing one out. Let me get a little closer. Keep it a nice neutral plank here. Even tension in the straps. Look down to check and make sure those foot cradles are even, those handles are even. Hang in there. 3, 2, 1. Great job. Take advantage of that minute 15 break here. Woo, sweating. Know that we got one more round left here, so stay close, stay nearby. We're not done yet. Not done. Whew. Check it out, folks, if you're starting to have that blood circulation, that lactic acid starting to build up a little bit. We don't really have too much transition movements on our second half sequence here. It's a lot of ground-based exercises, right? So we're not moving around too much. Just take this moment to do so. Heart rate's still elevated, though. That's good. All right, in 10 seconds, we're going to start it back up. Hopefully you enjoyed being able to divide the exercises by strap adjustments, so you don't have to keep adjusting it back and forth here. All right, here we go. Atomic push-up. Toes in. Plank. Here we go. Crunch. Push-up. Crunch. Push-up. Knees finish in below the hips. Vertically aligned to the sky. Or the roof if you're indoors. I'm used to saying sky. I'm usually outdoors, as you see in my other videos. 3 seconds left here. Hang in there. Woo. Good round. Good job. All right, transitioning to heels in. Remember, keep your butt on this exercise close to the anchor point. Knees above the hips here to start. Press them up. Keep those knees In line with the hips as best you can. As you press forward, or press up towards the sky, naturally they won't be lined up anymore, but they'll be lined up in this direction. Okay? So we're just trying to keep that alignment, just changing the frame of reference. Hands pressing to the ground. Keep that core tight. Whew, great job. Go ahead and extend yourself, walk it back. So you got knee extension, heels are still below anchor point, hands out wide, hips will come off the ground when we start. All right, here we go, hips off the ground, pull the knees in, over the hips. Keep those toes flexed towards the sky, and every point of your curl. Feeling those. Great job, folks, you're doing great, hang in there. There's the bell. Take a break here. Let's transition to toes in to finish off this round. What say you? Why not finish off strong here? We got mountain climbers. Toes in, feet below the anchor to start. Here we go, plank. Keep the tension even, look down at your feet. Make sure it is. Your plank's a tabletop from shoulder to hip. Whoop, tension changing a little bit on that one. I lost it. Saved it. Finish 3. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew, great job. Give yourself a round of applause here. Or pat on the back. We'll finish that one. Done with the second sequence. Not bad at all. Good job, people. Grab your water. Get a quick sip. Towel down real quick if you need to. We're going to go through a little cool down. All right. We're still going to do some mobility moves here on the TRX. Main focus here is just deep breathing. Expanding, contracting the stomach, not the chest. So you got to force that breathing. In, out. Expanding, contracting here. Adjust the strap here to mid-length. We're going to do much like when we started here to start. Lower back stretch. Tuck the hips back, tuck the head forward, bend the knee, twist. Stacking those elbows in the direction that you choose to twist. Great job today, folks. This is the reward. Nice deep breathing here, nice and relaxed. Single hand mode. Run it through or interloop them or just hold both hands together. Line up my feet. Hip that's closer to the anchor point, it's going to be the foot in front. My free hand is going to twist away until my shoulders face the anchor. The little T-spine rotation here. Go ahead and switch sides. Other foot's out in front. Twist till you face it. Twist till you face it. Shoulders to the anchor. Okay, last one here. Back to two-hand mode here. Fully lengthen those straps out. All right, we're standing facing away. Hands forward here. Take a step forward like a lunge. Bend it down. That foot that's out in front, I want you to take that same side hand, twist away. Creating that vertical line with the other hand. So nice stretch the oblique, the chest, the back all at the same time. And the hip flexor. Ooh, that feels good. Other side. And that knee. Nice vertical alignment here. And back towards the middle. Great job today, everybody. Great job getting through our workout of the week, our circuit. If you'd like a little bit more tutorial or explanation on those mobility moves through TRX, feel free to check out our TRX mobility tutorial video. Thank you all for joining me today on this nice, beautiful, sunny day out here. Hope you have a great rest of your day.
Hey there. If you enjoyed the content of this video, go ahead and tap that link at the bottom. Subscribe to our channel, KQ Fitness. You can also reach out to me directly. Find my contact info on our About page for questions and information about one-on-one training with myself. Appreciate you all.